Hey, this is Mike Lindsay from Vital MX, and we're doing another news break today in relation to the 2022 FIM World Supercross Championship being put on by the SX Global crew. We've been doing a few update videos on our channel about the teams, the rules, some of the rider announcements, and today we have another team announcement. Up until this point, we've had 6 of the 10 confirmed teams for this series announced. Each one of these teams is basically a charter system. They own their spot, but they have to commit to running 2 riders in 450 and 250 in this series. We've only seen the rider announcement so far from the Moto Concept guys. We have seen the team announcement from 6 different entities, though. So we've seen CDR, Craig Dack Yamaha. We've seen the Moto Concept Honda crew, Pipes Motorsports Group, which is a lot more people would know as HEP Suzuki, the GSM Yamaha French team, and also Bud Racing Kawasaki, another French Supercross team. And then lastly, Rick Ware Racing, who did a Supercross team and Arena Cross team back in the mid-2000s and is mostly known in NASCAR and IMSA and things of that nature. We have another entity being announced today that has motocross Supercross history, albeit on a pretty big level, and has been busy in the car racing world for a while. MDK Motorsports is back. For anybody does remember MDK prior, mostly around that mid-2000s time, yes, this is the same team that operated as MDK Honda, originally with Nick Way. They were basically the top privateer non-factory team, kind of in like the 06-07-ish range, and then got the opportunity to work with KTM and become their factory effort in 08-09, actually as a part of a 2-part program. You had MDK Factory KTM, which was still technically in-house at KTM. That was Martin Davalos and Nick Way the first year, so that was fully supported through KTM directly. It was just MDK's branding and their kind of crew working with KTM. And then you had the MDK Lights program, which was down the street a little bit in Marietta, out of its own shop that was on KTM with full factory support. That was their own 250 program as a 4-man team. You had guys like Ryan Zipes, Justin Brain, Billy Laninovich there. A lot of people might remember that was kind of a big starting point for Brayton in his career before he jumped from there to ultimately to JGR. So definitely the team has really good history in the sense of performance capability, but we did see them leave the sport when the economy basically took into the tank there after 08. Because they were originally supposed to be around with contracts through 2010. Like I said, they were kind of taking over that placement with KTM. They were Muscle Milk MDK KTM. They had Jägermeister involved as well for the 450 side. Definitely some big sponsors, multiple rigs, big presence in the pits. The owner, Mark Kvamme, is a venture capitalist. I believe he has some involvement in politics as well. But he, at that time, had quite a big push into Moto, of course, other than himself being a lifelong racing fan and Moto head. He had MDK the teams, he had MDK Shops. They owned multiple dealerships that they branded under the MDK umbrella. They had the MDK Speed Shop, so they had an aftermarket arm as well where they were doing cylinder heads and camshafts and different things of that nature for bikes. So it was kind of a full-rounded business, sort of, not too far off PC-esque, where they were racing and trying to sell what it was that they were developing and building. So like I said, that program ended up going away. Since then, Mark Kvamme had moved back east, I believe, to Ohio. Still involved, again, as a venture capitalist there, a little bit of politics, and got into car racing. IMSA, endurance racing, Le Mans style stuff. He's been doing that for quite a few years now. And just in the past couple years has restarted MDK Motorsports as an arm to officially run a Porsche Cup program. So they have their own race shop there, their own cars and semis, and they do different sort of arrive drive programs they have pro level guys, they have amateur level guys on their program, but they are busy racing, and this gives them a facility and a hub to basically start this team effort out of. Being that it's going to race all over the world, it's maybe not as vital for it to be in SoCal like it's been in the past. So that's kind of what's in the announcement. The other interesting part is it's not just Mark Kvamme, it is also Jeremy Grosser involved. He was a longtime AMA privateer from the late 90s into the early to mid 2000s. He's involved in the program with Mark Kvamme for the relaunch of MDK. And like we said, MDK's past experience has been racing Hondas, and then a good relationship with KTM where they were basically at one point handed the factory program and were in charge of managing it. So based on some other stuff we've heard that's not in this official announcement today, the product or certain partnerships they're looking for have been kind of locking down the last couple weeks are in relation to Austrian bikes. So we expect to see them back racing with Austrian support. We do not believe it'll be full factory level. Some of the stuff we've already heard them conversing with people on are to, get components that it doesn't sound like KTM is maybe going to gift them from a factory level, but we still expect to see them get some level of support from the OEM. Could be Husqvarna, could be KTM, could be Gas, albeit we'll lean on if KTM is going to support anybody in this series. When we say KTM, we mean the ownership group. We think they would put them under the KTM branding. If they're going to only have one OEM, sort of backing in this series, they would go with their original tried and true brand. So we believe the KTMs. Wouldn't surprise us, though, if it is, again, Husqvarna's or Gas on this series. No speculation too much yet on the riders. I know there's been some really crazy rumors that people think they see Cooper Webb and Reed riding together. I've had a few people suggest, we think it's going to be them over there. Based on some other insider contacts we've been told that the Webb thing would not happen, that Red Bull KTM is not going to have riders doing the U.S. series and also supporting them in global is basically what we were told. So we're not sure who that lineup is going to be. That's kind of the mystery with a lot of these teams, but from some other rumblings we've heard, we think we're going to start to see a lot of rider announcements for these confirmed teams in the next, week to 4 week span, basically end of this month going into July. We should start to learn a lot more about who the riders are that locked down. The only riders, again, confirmed are Moto Honda with Cole Seeley, Justin Brain, Mitchell Oldenburg, and Vince Freeze. We did a whole nother video on that. It's really cool to see Cole coming out of retirement and JB not quite going into retirement as originally suspected. So we'll see who ends up on these programs going forward. It'd be fun to see some of the speculation, or if any of you guys have heard any rumors in relation to that, throw them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching this news break. Stay tuned for more videos. Later.